All right, let's jump right in with a big question. How do you actually build a happier life? Today, we're going to talk about happiness, but maybe not in the way you're used to. We're going to explore it not as some feeling you chase, but as a set of real, practical skills that you can learn. I mean, really let that sink in for a second. We always talk about finding happiness, right? As if it's some lost treasure you just have to stumble upon. But what if that's completely the wrong way to look at it? What if happiness is more like building a house, something you construct on purpose, piece by piece, with the right set of tools? Well, it turns out the tools for building that happier life have a name: life skills. And look, this isn't just some fluffy self-help buzzword. It's a real concept backed by huge organizations like the World Health Organization and UNICEF. They see these skills as the essential abilities that help us handle, well, life, the ups, the downs, all of it. So the crucial takeaway here is that happiness isn't about avoiding problems, it's about having the skills to deal with them when they show up.
In this table, this really says it all. On the left, you've got everything we're told will make us happy. You know the drill: more money, a better job title, maybe just getting lucky. But the research, again and again, shows that the real, solid foundation for a happy life comes from the stuff on the right. The internal skills: resilience, self-awareness, empathy. That's the bedrock.
So here's our game plan for today. We're going to break down this skill set into 3 main buckets: mastering your inner world, mastering your decisions, and mastering your connections. And then we'll wrap it all up by talking about why happiness is really an ongoing practice.
All right, let's start at the beginning. Mastering your inner world. You got to build on a solid foundation, right? Well, this is it. How you manage your own thoughts, your own emotions. That's the starting line for everything else.
So, what's in this inner world toolkit? 3 absolutely essential skills. You've got self-awareness, which is basically knowing what makes you tick so you can make choices that are actually right for you. Then there's resilience. That's your ability to get knocked down and get back up again. And finally, self-care. Think of it as the daily maintenance that keeps your whole system, physical and emotional, running the way it should.
And this quote, this just nails what resilience is all about. It's a complete mindset shift. It's about not seeing failure as a dead end. Instead, a resilient person looks at a mistake and asks, okay, what did I learn here? That one simple question can transform a negative experience into powerful fuel for growth.
Okay, foundations poured. Next up, building the framework. That brings us to our second pillar: mastering your decisions. If your inner world is the foundation, your ability to make good decisions is what gives your life its shape and its direction. And this toolkit is crucial for navigating the world today. Critical thinking? That's your personal BS detector. Problem solving gives you a process for tackling challenges instead of just feeling overwhelmed by them. Making good decisions builds your confidence. And you know what? Solid time management carves out the space you need to actually live your life, not just run through a to-do list.
You know, making a good decision isn't some kind of magic. It's actually a pretty simple, repeatable process. You just gather the facts, look at all your different options, and think through what might happen for each one. When you break it down like that, even the biggest, scariest decisions start to feel a lot more manageable. And that brings us to our third pillar: mastering your connections. I mean, this is a big one. Humans are social animals. We're wired for connection. So much of our happiness is tied directly to the quality of our relationships with other people. So what do we need in this toolkit? Well, first, communication. The ability to not only say what you mean, but to really hear what other people mean too. Then you've got empathy, the skill of putting yourself in someone else's shoes. You put those interpersonal skills together, and that's how you build the strong bonds and that sense of belonging we all crave. And let's be really clear about communication. It is a two-way street. We spend so much time thinking about what we're going to say next. But the real connection, the magic, it happens when we stop talking and start listening. And I mean really listening, with empathy, trying to understand. So let's pull all these threads together. Mastering your inner world, your decisions, your connections, these aren't things you learn once and then you're done. The real key here is to see happiness as a practice, something you work on day in and day out like a muscle. It's a journey.
Now, you might be thinking, if these skills are so important, why is this so hard? And that's a fair question. The truth is, we're up against some real challenges. Our schools focus way more on academics than on life skills. The digital age, for all its wonders, can actually make us feel more isolated. And in a lot of cultures, we're just not encouraged to be open about our emotions.
So what can you actually do about it? Here's a simple path forward.
First, just acknowledge that these challenges are real. Don't beat yourself up. Second, make learning these skills a priority, just like you would any other subject you wanted to master. And third, start with conscious practice. You don't have to do it all at once. Just pick one skill and start working on it, intentionally.
And that brings us back to the most powerful idea, the central message of this whole explainer. A happy life is not a lottery ticket. It's not a product of chance. It is the result of cultivated skills. It's something you build with intention and with effort. The power is truly in your hands.
So I'll leave you with this one question to think about. After everything we've talked about, from resilience to empathy to making better decisions, which one of these skills will you start building today?